prediction for the game? It's obvious.
I expect Manchester City to win this game comfortably. 3-1.
A draw will be very good for Chelsea, so I'm looking at a 2-2 draw.
Okay. We are back again on your screens, whether it's your phone, your iPad, your laptop, wherever you're watching us from. Welcome to the show, and thank you so much for choosing us for your best sports content. My name is Kwame. I'm here with Benedict and Francis. This is Tactical Watch. Now, let me give you a little summary of what we're about to do. We are going to choose one particular game. We'll go into details of what to expect in the game, from the tactics to players that we are supposed to watch, and what to expect in whatever game that we are about to choose. And today's highlight is going to be the Manchester City versus Chelsea game happening this weekend. That's Saturday at 5:30 p.m. And you know, when these two giants, so I call them giants, well, these two giants in English football clash, it's either going to be sad for one side or it's going to be happiness for both sides. But we have two of the best people in the business. Benedict is here, Francis is here. They're going to tell us what to expect, from tactics to players to maybe, the odds to look at and all of that. Let me start with Francis. Francis, welcome to the show.
Yeah, big man. What's up?
I'll be okay. I'll be a cool crowd. Chelsea team.
Are you sure you are okay?
I'm not fine, but I'm fine.
Charlie, you are going to the Etihad though.
Oh. What have you seen?
Last time you go get draw for
Look, let me tell you something. When it comes to Chelsea, right now, in the state that I am, I'm not worried about Chelsea anymore.
So anything, yeah. Let go to know the fear knife.
But the past 2 or 3 games, I've
not... Let go to know the fear knife. Oh. Well, but you play something superb against Aston Villa in the FA Cup. You put them to I was shocked at the way the guys played, and I was like, why can't they replicate this thing week in, week out?
Well, that's why you're here. Tell us what's happening.
If you look at this Chelsea team, basically, I think it's all about the mindset and the mood in which the players find themselves. And for them to know that they are playing for one of the finest clubs currently in the European terrain. Because in the past 5 seasons, Chelsea have won the UEFA Champions League. They won the Club World Cup. They won the UEFA Super Cup under Thomas Tuchel before Roman Abramovich handed over the club to Todd Boehly. And when Todd Boehly took over, Chelsea outspent every single club in the English Premier League. They bought exciting talent. Let's not make mistake. They bought exciting talent dotted across Europe, from Ukraine to Portugal to England itself to France. But the problem here is, are the players gelling at the right time? Do they have the right gaffer to be able to put He taught Graham Potter from Brighton. We also, Brighton played at Graham Potter. They played one of the finest football in the division last 2 seasons. They recruited him. It didn't work. Initially, I was like, give them time, but it wasn't working. So they had to sack him because relegation was looming.
Yeah.
Fast forward, they brought Mauricio Pochettino, coach Espanyol in Spain, coach Tottenham Hotspur, coach Paris Saint-Germain, won the league with them, Coupe de la France and Coupe de la Ligue.
I think he coached another English team.
Southampton. He coached Southampton.
Yes.
Before he came to Spurs. So if you look at in terms of traveling and experience, Mauricio Pochettino is one of the young coaches around Europe that you can trust your team into. So they think he was the man to be able to shape this team to where they want the team to be. Because you look at this Chelsea team, make no mistake, with all the throws aside. You look at the team, aside Thiago Silva, who is about 38, 39 years, the rest are below 30 years. And these are talents that were playing very well in their respective clubs before Chelsea bought them. You look at Nodi Madueke. You look at a player like Moise Caicedo. You look at Enzo Fernandez. We saw Fernandez at Benfica. We saw him at the World Cup. He was the heartbeat of the Argentina World Cup winning team.
Cucurella, right?
You look at Marc Cucurella at Brighton, one of the finest left back. You look at this guy, what's the name? The English left back, the one they bought from
Ben Chilwell.
Axel
Disasi,
Bediashile. You look at the Ukrainian. Actually, Chelsea went head to head with Arsenal over 100 million bid to buy the boy.
Modric, yeah.
Arsenal were ready to buy Modric at 100 million. They didn't get him, and they had to settle for Trossard. And you look at the bargain, you said currently Arsenal has had the better of the bargain because Trossard is popping up with assists and goals. But Modric is not a bad player.
Yeah.
But if today, let me concentrate on Manchester City. Pep Guardiola's team, this is where they bite most. This is where they are very dangerous. When you are left with about 15 matches, let's say the second round of the season, that is where they click into full gear, put their foot on the accelerator and play without fear and restriction. They go at will, and they feel like they can walk into any stadium in England in the division and be clinical, ruthless, and grind out results any day, anytime. We've seen them did that in the past 3-4 seasons. In the past 5 seasons, they won the league 4 times.
Yes.
Quartet of league crowns. And in his earlier discussions, he said in the first round that he still believed that his team will win the league. Because in the past 4 seasons, they've done it. Last season, they did it against Arsenal.
Coming from behind, yes.
Arsenal played some brilliant stuff last season, but about 7 matches to go, Arsenal battled under pressure and they leapfrogged them. Ike Gundogan, now not with the club, former captain of the team, was at the heart of everything they did. Yeah. He dragged the team in the right direction. They got the result. They grounded out where they don't play well. And at the end of the day, they have stability. But if you look at this team this season, you could tell that something was wrong with this team in the first round of the season. Injuries plagued them. One of their best. He's the best player of the team. Kevin De Bruyne got injured. And whenever De Bruyne is not in the team, it has a telling effect on their creativity, driving the team up front. You look at Rodri, the heartbeat of the team. He drives the team in terms of linking up the defensive unit to the attacking unit.
Does that so
He's
well.
a fulcrum. He does that so well. And you wonder the kind of heart in him. We saw N'Golo Kante for Chelsea some seasons ago. And we kept asking ourselves, what do they eat? What's their training regime? We saw Michael Essien in the past. We saw someone like Patrick Vieira for Arsenal in the past. We saw Roy Keane for Manchester United. Yet, you look at this guy, this Rodri guy, you ask yourself, how come he does that so well and he has been consistent? And whenever he's not in the team, they find it difficult to win matches. This week, if you look at their formation, you could tell that Guardiola sometimes in he starts with a 3-back. Last season, for him to start with a 3-back and manage to get John Stones to play in that heart of midfield together with Rodri, sometimes alleviate some of the pressure, defensive pressure on him. And the way John Stones played in that formation, the passes, the quality of premium passes he played into attacking channels, his defensive stability to be able to read in between the lines to break out play from attacking players was the reason why Man City won the league and won the Champions League. Because in the semi-final against Real Madrid, both home and away, he was the difference. He made Toni Kroos and Luka Modric to be of no existence, allowing Rodri to surge forward to play. When Kevin De Bruyne got injured in the final in Istanbul, the one who scored the winner was Rodri. He surged forward on top of the penalty box, curled in a beauty to win the game for them. Why did he do that? Because he knew that he had a partner in John Stones, who would do the defensive covering for him. Whenever he moves forward, he doesn't have to think so much coming back, even though it's his primary duty.
So what are you supposed to what are we supposed to expect in terms of their setup this weekend?
This weekend against Chelsea, if you look at this Chelsea team, in midfield, they have the players, but in terms of sticking together is their problem. So City know that for them to win the midfield battle, they need to get the permutations right. And Rodri will be at the heart of this. As to how he'll be, because Stones is back, as to how he'll pair Stones with Rodri at the heart and unleash De Bruyne on top. Because he has redefined the role of the young English guy. What's his name?
Phil Foden.
Phil Foden. And Phil Foden has scored the highest number of goals in their last 5 matches in the league across all competition. He gives him the freedom to play that Bernardo Silva role, to rotate around, play behind, off the shoulders of Haaland. Haaland is back. He scored a brace in their last game.
Yeah.
And if you look at how they are playing to his feet, De Bruyne always links up with him. He plays the balls both left, right, central. Left, right, central. And for Chelsea, how would they map up this strategy? You've got to put Haaland under check. You've got to put someone on Haaland and then put someone on Kevin De Bruyne. Because when they clip their wings, that kind of telepathy between the two of them, how to link him up will be a problem. This is where Enzo Fernandez needs to play a critical role. Because Fernandez has proven at the World Cup that he can play that way. You can put him on a player and he will do a perfect job on the player.
Yeah.
But as to how they'll be able to maneuver to be able to do that over 90 minutes is another issue. Because at the Etihad, when they break, on the wings, the wing backs,
Not forgetting
they play a major role. And Kyle Walker,
Jeremy Doku doing his
Kyle
thing
Walker
there.
links up perfectly with Jeremy Doku. And Jeremy Doku is someone that can glide to the byline, can cut in, he can score, he can create assists, and he can create fouls. So he has this kind of he's like a triple-edged sword. Wherever you touch, it can cut you. So with such players, the only way out to be able to get them under control is to prevent those who give them those passes. When you cut off those things, that is where it will be extremely difficult for City to head them. But with this Chelsea team, how will you predict their approach to a game? That is the biggest problem. Yeah. So if you look at the permutations for Manchester City, especially at the heart of their midfield, if Chelsea are not able to tame them there and allow Stones, Rodri, and Kevin De Bruyne to have a full day, it will be a suicidal game for Chelsea to be able to contend with on Saturday.
All right. I personally don't think Stones will be playing. I think he's going to play Kovacic in the heart of the midfield instead. But let's see what happens. You for one are a Chelsea fan. You follow your team religiously. I can't just say media. This isn't there. I just won't cool down more because the heart break me too much. Don't forget that in the first leg we drew 4-4. One of the most electrifying games so far this season. 4-4 against Man City. How is Chelsea setting up against Man City? Are they going to repeat the same thing?
I'm not sure Chelsea can repeat the same 4-4 because now City has another player coming in De Bruyne. That game they were missing De Bruyne, and in this game he's coming back. So looking at Chelsea setting up, you are going to the Etihad, which is a more wider pitch compared to Stamford Bridge. And we know City would like to use the wings more, try to overload us on the wings, pushing us to target that side. And De Bruyne would do what? Try and find passes to Haaland. So this is one thing I think Pochettino needs to watch. So in this game, if I'm to predict or to come up with a lineup for Chelsea, I think Pochettino should go for a 3-4-3 formation. With a 3-4-3, meaning the top three would be more of a Cole Palmer dropping in as a 10, and I would go for Nicolas Jackson and Nkunku up front. Why? Because you are looking at two players who can drift to the wings, create chances there, come in and score goals. You are looking at Cole Palmer playing in the 10 role, who can distribute the ball very, very well. So let me start from the back and line up my team. So I'll go for Thiago Silva in the middle, Disasi, maybe Levi Cole. I don't know if he'll be fit for that game.
Enough for that game.
Yes. Then I'll go for Malo Gusto on the right, Ben Chilwell on the left, pair Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez in the middle. Pairing these two in the middle, meaning they should be very close to each other.
Very compact, yeah.
Because if you are looking at this City team coming in, you are looking at Rodri, you are looking at De Bruyne, maybe you are expecting Kovacic or maybe Stones coming in. And these players are going to dominate the midfield. So you need players to concentrate. Okay, this is our game. All we need to do is stop these people from the midfield and leave the wings for Gusto, Ben Chilwell, Jackson, and Nkunku to attack. So I think this is the lineup I'll go for. It will make the game a bit compact. If Chelsea can have that break, they can get the goals.
But I'm not to punch holes into your tactics,
lineup,
but
yeah.
Don't you think that in this game, Chelsea needs to be very, very compact at the back instead? Because a 3-back system would definitely mean that your right wing backs and your left wing backs are going to go and come. So this is a team. This is a team that's the Man City team that have explosive wingers, just like you said. Someone like Jeremy Doku. If you lose guard, go where he has the ball and is against you.
The one who plays behind me, Kyle Walker, will always be.
There's a lot of pace going on there, and I doubt if our right wing back and our left wing back in the person of Gusto and Ben Chilwell can handle that kind of pressure.
Is it Gusto that played last weekend against Cunha?
Yes.
And Cunha ran him ragged.
That particular game, everything about the team was just off. You could just see everything was off. It wasn't about Gusto. Like, mind you, Gusto is one of the best players this season for Chelsea.
When it comes to defending, Gusto is very good.
Yes.
And with our game, I think in the first leg or in the first round of game, Gusto was a bit good with that. But I think with Doku, if you are looking at a 3-back system, meaning you are looking at when City are pressing, we move to a 5-back to try and
contain them
and look at those holes we are trying to create.
I'm talking about how City quickly move the ball from defense to attack.
It will be more of you trying to sit down.
2 passes and your right back is lost.
And try.
See, I understand what he's trying to say.
2 passes, then your right back is lost.
In terms of the tactics permutations, how often do you see Phil Foden dropping deep?
Well, 2 minutes
how
to wrap
often
up.
do you see someone like Jeremy Doku dropping deep? Because when you have when you have Rodri and either Kovacic or Stones, they will stifle the ball. The ball retention will be quicker. The movements, whenever they get the ball to the feet of De Bruyne, mind you, De Bruyne can pick any kind of pass, both short and long, at premium, at any time. And what he's saying is, when they search forward, what about if Man City turn over?
And it's a counter.
And it's a counter.
Two passes, your right back, left back.
I understand you. You are saying that when they turn over...
Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, in this formation, a Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez as a double pivot. Their role is to just hold the midfield, not think about joining the attack, because you have wing backs joining the attack. You have a 3 forward also joining the attack. So this is where Caicedo and Enzo needs to be.
So where's the creativity in the midfield then?
Not looking, that's where Kopama comes in, dropping as a 10, creating that chances.
Makes sense.
Maybe it makes sense on paper, or it makes sense maybe in my eye, but on the field of play. Because I've seen our game against Liverpool where you look at the lineup, you see a 3 midfield, it makes very good sense. But in terms of playing, you see Gallagher moving away from Caicedo.
Yeah.
You see Enzo Fernandez dropping into the left back, and it's creating a whole lot of mess in the middle.
But before we wrap up, I personally feel such a game is going to be won by the coaches. These are two different coaches who won. When I say one, I'm talking about Pep. Pep's in-game management is second to none.
No, let me not cut you. Pep's substitutions improves his team. It depends on the quality of players he has on the bench. Grealish is on the bench. The last game, De Bruyne came from the bench. Look at this. If De Bruyne comes on, Grealish comes on, are they improving the team?
They are, definitely.
Yes. That's the difference between Manchester City and the rest of the Premier League teams. When he effects substitutions into the second half in games, they raise the tempo of the game. Whilst other teams, when the game is here and the substitutions come in, it lowers the quality of the game. Arsenal yesterday were leading by 6 goals. Now when they rang the substitutions, the team came down flat. And there was no goal. It was like that. We won't score, you won't score. So that's the difference with Pep. And with Pep, so far as you are his player, you know that you are every season, your destination, your destiny is hinged on every season. Gundogan, all the ball Gundogan played. Let's face reality. If Gundogan were to be Arsenal player, Chelsea or Manchester, there is no way they were going to sell him out.
Yeah, true.
Based on the ball he played last season. But Pep doesn't care.
Always looking to improve his team.
He will let you go. So, the players, even if you sit on the bench, you are motivated enough to come and prove to him that you can do the job.
Okay. Before I go, prediction for the game. It's obvious.
I expect Manchester City to win this game comfortably.
3-0, 4-0.
It should be 2-0, 3-1. Because Chelsea has players that can bite as well. Raheem Sterling, he'll be fired up because that's his former team. If Nkunku is fit, he has goals in him. It depends on the kind of services he'll get. Yes. I've always said this. For Chelsea to tick in the attacking boxes, they need Nkunku to be fit. Because for RB Leipzig, last season, Nkunku was the top scorer of the Bundesliga.
Even after a long break.
After a long break, he came back and won the Bundesliga top score. So you look at that, and look at Kopama, one of the finest attacking midfielders in Europe. Assists,
goals,
creativity, goals, he has everything in him. It depends on the mood that the entire team will play. But for Chelsea to have something decent out of this game, it will boil down to the 2 players that will play in their central defensive midfield role. How they stick closer together, how disciplined they are, how they read the game, and how they'll go face into the faces of the Manchester City players without any fear. Enzo Fernandez, Moise Caicedo, it depends on them for Chelsea to stifle something positive.
So comfortable win for you, 3-1, 3-0, 2-0. You don't have him in your own team.
But he has to predict.
I'm being a Chelsea fan here, and a draw would be very
Chelsea nyame.
A draw would be very good for Chelsea. So I'm looking at a 2-2 draw.
Okay, so we're trying to replicate the same results from the last game.
4-4.
Yeah, great.
That's one of the finest games of this season.
Yes. So on that note, there you have it. Breakdown, proper analysis of what you expect in the game this Saturday, 5:30. That's the Premier League. Manchester City playing at home, welcoming the Guadalupe Blues Chelsea into their home. Let's see the kind of damage that Chelsea will do to Manchester City. On that note, thank you so much for tuning in. Always subscribe to us and let us know what you think the outcome of the game is going to be in the comment section. My name is Kwame. I did this with Benedict and Francis, and we are out.